All right, let's call this meeting to order. It is 5:03. Did everyone get a chance to review the minutes of the November meeting? If not, I'll give you a couple minutes to go through that, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Question marks under motions or behind motions, is that a formatting issue that the city of Wichita typically uses?
It was a glitch when it transferred over to PDF.
Could we simply delete the upside down question marks behind motion? And I also would recommend approval of that adjustment.
Second?
I think that under the review of the DV policy, it was clarified that it had been reviewed in, I can't remember if it was 2022 or 2023, but it had last been updated in 2020. And so there was some discrepancy between when it had been looked at. I think it was before the new chief came in, but that part is missing to me, and I don't remember the exact year. But it had been looked at more recently than the last 5 years.
Where are you seeing that?
Oh, it's not in there.
So that needs to be added?
Yes.
Can you restate what needs to be added?
There needs to be an addition in the second paragraph of section 2 under the DV policy that it was advised that the DV policy had been reviewed in 2022 or 2023, but had not been updated since 2020.
2020. Okay, so we have a motion, a second, 2 corrections that have been given. Any more board discussion on approval of the minutes? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. And now we can move on to training and presentations. Number 1 was the misdemeanor policy. Did everybody get a chance to review the misdemeanor policy that Greg sent out? Is there any discussion on that policy?
You'll have to forgive me because I'm coming back from 3 weeks of vacation, so I'm still a little fuzzy here. But I believe this was tied to a specific case, or there was something that had triggered and a reason for us to investigate misdemeanors. And I'm hoping that in coming on the mic that I'll just kick that memory up for myself or anybody else who might remember why.
I think it was connected to the 2 cases that we're going into executive session for later.
Okay, perfect.
So if we want to pull that out during executive session as a reference, I think that's a great idea since we connected these 2 cases to that policy. Is there any more discussion on policy before we move to the second agenda item? Okay, great. So, thankfully staff have put the documents up there for review, so you don't have to look at your phone. The first document, and I believe someone said, I think we should not approve them all together, we should approve them one by one, and I'm fine with that. We can have multiple motions. Sorry, I gotta pull these up. The first one is going to be, let's start with the roles and responsibilities. All right, so basically, without reading through all of it, general board member, the things that we came up with during the retreat were the commitment the training and the community engagement. You all can read. Is there any discussion around this before a motion is made, since all of you said you reviewed it prior to the meeting? Okay. If you could scroll to, that was board members. Next is officer positions. It's the same document. You just scroll down, yeah. So really, the big changes that we talked about in there was the chair and vice chair's role, because the secretary role was basically just kind of transcribed over, except for serving in the capacity of the vice chair if they're not there. Vice chair continues to do that role as well for the chair and the secretary, support with communications, and basically would be the liaison for community members to request one of us to come to their meeting, so that's not on the secretary. Chair position, I believe it was all the same. Provide oversight in approving meeting agendas, point of contact with City of Wichita, those kind of things. Is there any questions or additions on this document? All right. Then the last one is, that was the officer positions and general board member. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the Citizen Review Board roles and responsibilities document as to be added to our webpage as a guiding document. Is there a second? Oh, you make a motion? Okay. Matthew Lashley made a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion around this? All right, all in favor of approving the board roles responsibilities, say aye. Aye. All right, fantastic. All right, next one is the city clerk's office. We went around at the strategic event talking about what would be appropriate for the city clerk's office. Has staff had a chance to look at this to make sure that this works for staff as well? I don't know that that discussion was necessarily had at the board meeting, or at the retreat, but it was take minutes, report the meeting minutes, add things to the website, update the website. So those are all the same. Prepare the agendas, assemble the packets. So I believe it's all the same things that are already. Then the city clerk's office, the communication and reporting. And the new thing that I think is going to be really helpful is the board member onboarding. That's going to include copying board members on correspondence, ensuring that everyone gets the relevant documents when they start. We thought of it as kind of like a packet. So does anybody have any questions or comments on the city clerk's office document before we entertain a motion?
Where does it mention getting them? So I see the packets.
Oh, it's a little bit farther down. There we go. Sorry about that.
Can we verify that the staff members feel that that's an appropriate role description?
I'm reading through it right now.
Okay.
This was really more of just when a new board member comes on. So like, we're about to have a new city manager. There's quite a few seats that belong to him. This could be something that we prep if we get new board members from the new city manager. I think a lot of this was done organically, and I think we're just trying to codify that this is something we all wished we would have had.
I think it would be very nice if it's in a binder if you receive it when you start. That's kind of what that means.
Okay.
Be helpful.
Okay, I don't think I'm good with it.
Okay, perfect. If there's no other discussion, I'd entertain a motion to approve the roles and responsibilities of the city clerk's office.
Motion to approve the roles and responsibility of the city clerk's office for the Citizens Review Board.
Okay? Second by Joshua. Any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Fantastic. All right, the next document is the Wichita Police Department. And did you all get a chance to review that document as well? If not, it'll be right here. Basically, it's a lot of the same things that you've already been doing. Communicate with residents regarding hearings through all the media that we've done, or through the mediums we've already done. Send correspondence to residents regarding findings. Provide the board with summaries of cases. Provide quarterly reports summarizing activities, outcomes, and data relevant to the board's responsibilities. I think that's the traffic reports, all the things that we've started to get a regular cadence on. And then provide training to the CRB as required, and that a lot of that is the Citizens Police Academy, the racial profiling training, and any additional training that we request. Is there any discussion on the Wichita Police Department's roles and responsibilities?
Did we have an opportunity for them to evaluate and give feedback?
They've already said they've looked at it. Do you guys have feedback that you want to add?
So I don't know what that evaluation process has looked like. This is, I think, the first time I've seen this document, so I don't have any feedback at this time. I'd need to examine it first. But I'm filling in for Captain Cooley, who is obviously not here this session. I believe he'll be back next month, but I'll have some discussion with him, and we'll see what feedback the department has.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to table this document until the January meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of tabling the WPD's roles and responsibility document till January? Say aye. All opposed? Okay, perfect. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. We are in the middle of going through all of the strategic planning documents. We've approved the clerk and the board's role. WPD wants to review theirs, and we'll go back to that in January. The next document is the Citizens Review Board Strategic Work Plan. It's the one that kind of looks like this. Is there a document that looks like that? It might be on here. Just go ahead and scroll through that. Let's see. Nope, that's the summary document. I was dumb and I didn't drink a water. I'm so thirsty. I'm sorry. My voice is just going to get gravelier and gravelier. Yes, that's perfect. So we started with the fantastic document that Stephanie had started for us, and the board kind of went in and put some additional proposed action items that felt more attainable and aligned with the bylaws that are coming up next. So our two big goals that we're planning on working on are develop a community engagement plan and develop annual reporting schedule and tracking tools. So under the proposed action items, and it'd be great if we get all 6 done this year, or next year, but this is just our plan. So establishing procedures, sharing a unified message, making sure the website is up to date and accurate, having an annual review process. And a lot of this, I think it's going to be work where we create a subcommittee, most likely. It doesn't necessarily have to be the bylaws committee, but it could. But it'll be a subcommittee that kind of works on these items. Host town halls, edit the outreach material that's been created, develop a standardized form, which could be a document that goes on the website, which would be us asking IT. Under the last goal, create a comprehensive schedule identifying the reports that we want to see, how often we want to see them, and who's responsible and the purpose that that data will give us. So we're not just looking at reports and then not doing anything with it. Develop a tool to track and monitor board member attendance, and establish a tool to document the policies that we've reviewed. That way we're not kind of trying to dig through the minutes to figure out what we've already done. Is there any discussion on this work plan? Everybody happy with it? That's awesome. Well, I would entertain a motion to approve the strategic work plan for 2026.
I will make a motion to approve the strategic work plan for 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Matthew. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome. We're tooting right along. The next document, which is the summary that he had just pulled up, that's not a document necessarily that we need to approve. That's the summary document that will go on the website to kind of explain to people, this is our training, these are the handouts we have about roles and responsibilities. So this one isn't necessarily a document that we need to approve because it's just an executive summary. The last one, however, is the bylaws, which I believe the bylaws and the strategic work plan we spent the most on. I think we spent the most time at the retreat on. And I'm really just going to let you guys read through it and ask him to scroll up when you're ready, unless you have it on your device. And a lot of this work was pulled straight from the previous, or pulled from the ordinance with a few additions added. I think the biggest change is the bullet point, present written feedback to professional standards. So we're not just making a motion in the meeting, but if we have something that we're making a recommendation for, that it's a written document that we provide. Otherwise, I think the rest of it is the same.
Are we looking for like little grammatical stuff or broad overview?
God, is it LaShonda? I don't want to say her name wrong. Yeah, LaShonda. She's already taken care of the editing piece. These documents were all created by WSU, unless there's something that she missed.
We went serve, assist, advise, and then it says reviews, so it would be review.
Under which bullet?
Works would be work to create. If you're going off your first one, serve as, assist the, advise the, review, post discipline findings. We need to get rid of the S there and the S on works. I think.
Which bullet? Oh, the last one.
Bullet 5.
Work to create, okay.
And then review. It's fine with that.
Remove works. All right. Is everybody good up to the duties? Are you ready to go through the membership portion? Okay. Good catch.
And feedback might be one word too, but I don't know if feedback's one word.
Services, works, feedback. Yeah, membership, I think, is all the same as before. And we didn't change the probation, parole, so A, B, C, and D, all of that is the standard language.
I think in the bylaws, we codified some of those 2-pagers and 1-pagers on roles and responsibilities, and recognizing that the WPD section is yet approved, would we need to hold on approving this until they provide their feedback on their roles and responsibilities?
I would say no, because the bylaws govern the CRB, not the WPD.
Okay, because it does lay out their responsibilities as well on page, I'm on my phone, so it doesn't have page numbers, but it does have,
Oh, yes, that's true, we added it. Wichita Police Department. Okay, well, and since she has to make edits anyways, please review this so that we can give her this all at once, because we can approve bylaws in January with edits. Then I would say skip down to terms of office.
Go past. Sorry, I was looking for big bold letters.
And Shani, did we put the first regularly scheduled meeting of each new term? The new term is April, right?
Of the terms of office is July.
Oh, it's July, okay. So we do all our stuff in April for why? For appointments?
Yeah, April 1st is typically across the board for all other new appointments, yeah.
Okay, so it just has to be done before July.
Right.
Okay.
The last meeting in June is typically when board votes are done.
So
Officer votes are done.
we put the board shall elect officers at the first regularly scheduled meeting of each new term. So that would be July. That's why I asked, is it April? Okay, perfect.
Should it say someone in somewhere that a term does start in July?
We don't set the terms, it's the, that's city policy when,
Ordinance, city ordinance, yeah.
okay, there we go. So the term could change, so whatever they determine the beginning of the term is when it is. Okay, so all the rest of that is going to be the roles that you've already approved. So if you go down to meetings, that's the next piece. Again, a lot of this was things that we just did because it was best practice and now they're codified. And that last bullet under I, we added to go along with the written reports to the public. And then the under attendance establishes what quorum is. Any other discussion on this document besides the already stated edits that need to be made? Okay, since we can't approve it today because we're pending WPD review on their roles and responsibilities, I make a motion that we table this till the January meeting for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Awesome. You guys, we did it. I know, it does feel good. Thank you so much for pulling those up. I really wanted to get this done before Bob left because I know that the CRB was something that was important to him, so it feels good to get that work done. All right, is there any public agenda? I didn't look.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So we do have a guest here to speak on one of the PSB cases, so you're welcome to speak now, or you can wait until we get to before executive session, whichever you prefer.
I would like to speak now.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Allen. My name is Weller, so there's no confusion regarding the board. I filed a PSB complaint regarding case number 22C033758. I won't be speaking much on the matter because what I am alleging is criminal, and PSB won't be able to do much regarding that. But what I would like to speak about is the one thing I did not put in my complaint, which I think PSB would be able to assist with, is Officer Martin Elizabeth, while conducting an investigation, told my husband that he should leave me because I was going to go down hard and I was going to take his career with me. For clarification purposes, I never went down hard. No charges, no convictions, only a speeding ticket or two on my record. That is extremely insensitive to say to someone's spouse. Me and my spouse both have been in law enforcement. My D number is 2513. My husband is current law enforcement. To say that I would take down his career is unprofessional. I also think that shows bias when investigating a case. If you cannot put that bias aside, how can you properly investigate? You're going to be clouded. My other thing that I would like to bring up is I have a copy of the KSOR. I am fully aware of the new RMS system. This case was founded before that new RMS system. This is not how you initiate a sync case. It is not labeled as child welfare. If you're going to start a case, I think that it should be done correctly. I'm sure that there's policies and procedures in the Wichita Police Department that state that. I have shown this case report, not the narrative, to several deputies with the Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office. And I, as well as they, have no clue how this wasn't kicked back by records or by a supervisor. My name is nowhere on there. My children's names are nowhere on there. I've done plenty of reports in my time working for the Sheriff's Office. This is not how it's done. The rest of what I'm alleging, I will not speak today. I will be filing a criminal complaint. I did file a Kansas City Post complaint, and due to the nature of it being criminal, they cannot investigate. So that's stating that I will conclude my time. I thank you all for your time. I just ask that somebody should probably talk to their officers about what they say to spouses. I don't think that's professional. I would never say that to anyone's spouse. My husband sure hell hasn't. When he's on a call, on a DV or anything of the nature, or taking children to PPC, it's not professional. And I think that that should be looked into. That is something I didn't put in my report. If I have to file a new one with the Professional Standards Bureau, I will, because what I am currently alleging in that report is criminal. But again, thank you for your time, everyone.
Can you tell me that PSB number that you already filed?
Yes, I can, absolutely.
And have you already received a closed finding on that?
I have.
Okay.
So the PSB complaint number is 25 PSB 2454.
And are you asking us to review that case at a future time?
If you would like to review that case, from what my knowledge is that the Professional Standards Bureau cannot criminally investigate their officers.
Correct.
That would fall on the responsibility of the Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office per the contract agreement. So I honestly am unsure on what you guys reopening it and investigating would do. I'm more than happy if you guys would. I don't know what it would do for the case. I just know that what I'm alleging is criminal. because what I'm alleging is the lack of probable cause for the removal of 3 children from my home.
So this board is an after-action review, so we make recommendations on policy.
It's in today's agenda in executive session. If I'm hearing right, PSB, 25 PSB 2454,
Oh, yeah, that is later, thank you.
we will be looking at that actually today, so I think we may be having a similar thought, and that there was something that raised alarms a few months ago when we pulled this case.
Do you know what time you guys will be going that? I don't want to just rush out of here. I would love to be here for that.
We have, less than, I'm going to say, the secretary isn't here, the subcommittee isn't formed, we're going to talk about meetings and go through case review, so, I'm guessing less than 30 minutes.
What I'm going to do then is I'm going to go take some Zyrtec, because I'm currently draining, and blow my nose, and then I'll be back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good catch. Good catch, Tim. All right. So public agenda is closed. New business. Did everybody get a chance to look at the report provided by WPD with the new cases? Does anyone have any cases they'd like to bring forward for review? Then I would like to make a motion to bring forward the bottom two, 25 PSB 5192 and 25 PSB 5325, because they're both use of force complaints.
I will second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion on these? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Any other comments or discussion around new cases being added?
I do have a question about trying to find it again, loss of a personal citizen's cell phone. And I don't know without bringing it forward, was it just lost before it got to property and evidence or lost after property and evidence? Do we know that? It's 25 PSB 4843.
Captain Bartell might know.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, what was it?
Was the phone lost prior to being taken into evidence, or it says that it was sustained?
Yeah, so typically that's somebody who is in our custody's personal property, and while they are taking the individual into custody and transporting them to the detention facility, they lose or damage that property. So it would be before they're even arrested and booked, so far before any kind of criminal proceedings or anything happen in a case. It's not typically evidence of the case, it's usually them just removing personal property from the subject that's been arrested.
I I think more for the citizens review, like, I'm just interested to know how often something like that happens.
Yeah, especially
What the
since we just
percentage-
talked about it around
We
the
had
jail.
Yeah, we had it with somebody in the jail, and that one all made sense. And I don't know if that's anything that's even tracked.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to pull it forward, or pull the policy forward, that'd be an interesting policy.
But we
review.
reviewed the policy. Did we review the policy with the,
For evidence?
yeah.
Or, it wasn't even evidence, it was,
I don't know what I need to know about that. I'm just wondering, like, is there a trend or how we handle that? And maybe it's not worth looking into.
did we review the,
If I remember correctly, we reviewed in relation to, there's the young man who was sent to ICE custody and there was an iPad. Some items were released to a friend, some items were not. And if I remember correctly, there was some discrepancy in how that was handled.
that was Sedgwick County Jail?
That was, yes.
So I don't know that we necessarily reviewed the policy for WPD for personal property. Is there a policy for that? Personal property handling?
Yeah, it would follow under our evidence policy. There's specific, I think, language in there for how officers handle personal property and when it's submitted.
Is that something you want to pull forward, or just now that you know what it is,
I
you'll go
guess
look
maybe in
at
just
it?
conversation, is
Okay.
that something you guys think that's important, or is it kind of a one-off? We've just had two recently, and I think that's what catches me, is just the recent events. And it could be a fluke.
Yeah, and I think I'd be curious too, so this was sustained, the phone was lost, do we know what happened to it after the fact? You know, if this person in particular was able to watch it drive around in the back of a car for a while, or it's entered into civil forfeiture, for example. It sustained what happened in this case specifically, and is it a common practice? And is there a way that we can find that out? I would be interested to watch.
So what I'm hearing is we want to review this case in conjunction with the evidence policy. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think
Would you
that's
like
my
to make a motion?
I think
Okay.
that's my motion, to review this and the policy.
Is there a second on reviewing case PS 25 PSB 4843?
I have one comment on that real quick, is that if it was a common problem, it would have been brought up way more than 2 times.
Okay, well, we haven't got a second yet.
I will second it.
Oh, you seconded?
Just now.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, well, let's vote. All in favor of adding 25 PSB 4843 and policy, corresponding evidence policy, say aye. All opposed? All right. I'm going to write that down, and that'll be on a future agenda, but I don't know about January. We'll have to see what else comes up. PSB, sorry, let me get that, 4843. All right, is there any more discussion around open cases? Or I guess closed cases open for review? All right. Board agenda, there's not any subcommittee updates, but I would like to ask the board, based on the strategic work plan that we just approved, we have a lot of items on there, and it looks like there's 2 goals, so I would be interested to see if this board would like to break up into smaller subcommittees to start working on some plans for those boards, or for those goals. I'm just curious if there's any discussion around that.
I just have, I don't know. My term's supposed to end in March, and I was appointed by the city manager.
Me
So
too.
I don't know how that's going to work, and so I don't want to commit to anything if I'm not going to be here past March, so. And I think Joe also is
Okay.
expiring in March as well.
When is the city manager's official first day?
It's January 4th or something?
It's early January.
Yeah,
His first day in person,
5th, okay.
Oh, I guess payday and actual start of workday, yeah. And this may not, I don't know that he'll come and look at his appointments to the Citizens Review Board early in that tenure. I think there's bigger issues for him to address or deal with, like Do we have a timeline on when this might come up on their radar?
No, but we could certainly request to have him attend the meeting. Maybe not January's meeting, but maybe February. Especially if he's,
To introduce himself and.
yeah, because our
tell us
terms
what
are
his
up in
mission is?
April. So if he's going to appoint new people, he probably wants to know who we are and what we're about.
And forgive me, I don't know how it works for you guys, but would he need to do it in a meeting, or does he just, like the city council does? Or would he just say, all right, March 31st, you're good to go, you're back on, or at any point before the expiration of term? Because I know, like, I would have to be council meeting before my term expires.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how he's going to do it. I asked him a CRB question at one of the public town halls that they had, and he was sort of familiar with the concept, and he knew a little bit about them, but I don't think he's familiar with like what we do and who we are per se. So maybe we reach out to the office after he's put in place, or I guess we could, I'm sure Bob is doing some sort of transition packet. Is that right, Jennifer? Okay. I'm sure this is in there as one of the 11 billion things he's supposed to know. So I guess we could always just reach out and find out. But I kind of agree with you, but I kind of disagree. I would hope to get some work in before I leave. So I'll definitely be on one, but if you don't want to be on one, I totally get it.
No, I just, for a launch.
I think all of our terms are up in April, but
Until June, so why was there,
The review is short, so we don't do it at the same time. So
yeah.
in March, our council members will have to review.
So do we want to wait and see, or try to see if we can start working on something for a few months? Wait and see?
If nothing else, we could probably set some subcommittee frameworks so that we don't know what it'll look like in March, where we can say this is what we want to work on and these are the groups that we want to assemble to do work over the next year.
Well, then let's table the subcommittee discussion till after the first of the year, so hopefully more board members can be here and we can talk a little bit. And we'll have all of our documents hopefully approved by then. Okay, there's no secretary here. I didn't see any new emails. Did anybody else see any new emails come in on the CRB? I don't think I saw any. All right. Oh, sorry.
I think there was one from a student at Northeast Magnet, but I believe that Greg is handling that.
So he was good?
Yep, all
Okay,
good.
perfect. I think Shanita sent out the meetings for 2026. How does everybody feel about that meeting schedule? And thank you so much for putting that together. It's very helpful to know like what all the meetings are for the whole year.
there does need to be a vote on November and December, so it's not on a regularly scheduled date.
Okay. Are you guys okay with picking November and December 2026 right now so we can just finish the schedule for the year?
I think the tentative dates, they're a year out, so I can't predict the future, but they look fine to me. They follow our format of moving them up to the second Thursday of the month.
The one in December is the third Thursday, because that's the only day that Evergreen was available.
And then what was the one in November? The 12th. Do we want to do the dates separately or bundle it together? Okay. Then I will make a motion that we amend our regularly scheduled meeting for November and December to November 12th and December 17th. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Awesome. All right, so the whole schedule for 2026 is done. I feel like we're really accomplishing things this week. All right, before we go into an executive session, is there any new business that anyone would like to bring to the board? All right. Can I have that little paper? I'm not smart enough to have it memorized yet.
Never tried it.
And how long do we think these cases will take to review?
Obviously, it depends on questions, but 30 minutes.
Okay. Then I move that the Citizens Review Board recess into executive session for 30 minutes. Oh, wait, do we want to add some additional time for discussion? Okay, for 30 minutes to review information related to PSB cases 24 PSB 5144 and 25 PSB 2454 pursuant to KSA 754319B2 to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel and to protect the privacy interests of an identifiable person. The executive session, oh, that's my motion. Is there a second? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, executive session will begin at 5:50 and end at 6:20. The meeting will resume in this room.
Winter?
Yes.
All right, so we reviewed PSB 24 PSB 5144. No action was taken related, and all related policies will follow. We will be going back into executive session so that we continue to review the other case. So I move that the Citizens Review Board recess into executive session for 15 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes to review information related to PSB case 2454, to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel and protect the privacy and interests of an identifiable individual. Is there a second? All in favor? All right, executive session will begin at 6:21 and end at 6:41. The meeting will resume in this room. Yeah, we'll just need to open the door and let people in.
Video is live.
Okay, so we are back in session. The board has requested additional information from WPD on PSB 2454, and we will complete that review in January. Would we like to set up the January agenda while we're here? Okay, just real quick so we can get through it. Meeting is where in January? City Hall, okay. City Hall at 5 p.m. We have, we will continue 25 PSB 2454 in January. We will also have 2 tabled actions of the documents that will need to be approved. We also have, on our case review, we have 1 citizen request, or I'm sorry, 4843, what was that?
What the fuck is that?
We don't have any more citizen requests, do we? Lauren Weller, oh, that's this one, okay. So the rest are all board requested, so I would say if we're going to do the oldest first, are you guys okay with adding 25 PSB 1103 since it's at the top of this list? Okay. So we're going to finish 2554. We're going to add 25 PSB 1103. And what policy did you say, Josh?
508 is
and policy
the
508.
sync policy.
Just as a question, do we need more cases to be reviewed? If we're adding them between 2 and 4 a month and only reviewing 1 or 2 a month, we're going to have a backlog again.
That's a good idea. Is 3 cases too many, do you think?
On top of the policy and the 2 tabled actions, quite possibly.
Okay. Then are you guys okay with February being a meeting where we knock out some cases and we have the majority of the meeting being executive session? Okay. Then let's plan on having number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 6. If we review 4 cases and do nothing else but review cases in February, that'll knock out half of our list.
Oh, yeah, there's 3 today. So you want to do 7?
Oh, yeah, so we knocked out 5 and 3 today, so it's actually, and we're gonna,
5 we're doing next month.
well, yeah, we're finishing next month. So January, we're doing number 1. February, we're gonna do 2, 4, 6, and 7. And we're not gonna add anything except for if the city manager wants to come hear from us, but I imagine that'll be probably March that that happens, so. All right, is there anything else that we want to add to the agenda for January? I feel like we got a pretty full agenda, 2 cases, a policy, and the outstanding tabled motions around the strategic plan work. Otherwise, if there's no other board discussion, I am happy to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I wanted to say, like, Shanina's really outdone herself.
Oh, yeah.
Invites and the list of the calendar, that's,
We really appreciate you. I'll make sure and tell your new boss how awesome you are and how valuable you are.
Well, beginning in February, there are a lot of deputies on now the city clerk, so the deputy will take over in February.
Is it the gentleman or a new one?
No, the gentleman's no longer.
Oh, poop. Well, he was really nice. Well, either way, I second that, what Tanya said. You've really helped us out a lot. I think one of the reasons why this board is being more effective is because of all the work that you've done. And same to WPD, providing all the cases through our, I don't know, I felt kind of psychotic and surreal as we were getting our feet underneath us, but I feel like we all got a good trend towards providing good accountability to citizenry and also understanding what our role is. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Matthew, motions to adjourn. Is there a second? Sarah, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? No one? Okay. Happy holidays. I hope you guys have a really safe holiday. I know, he's like, bye.